serious talking about anime. Guess it's important to hear what they say. Argue over weapons throughout night and day. Now that you listen to the Rant Cafe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Animac here from Anime Uproar, and welcome to another episode of the Rant Cafe Anime Podcast. Today, along with Nux and Briggs, we got Noble from Lost Paws and Evanito from Evanite Zero. What's up, guys?
What's cracking? Good to have you. That was kind of awkward.
Nux and Briggs.
Yeah, I wanted to get everything out before Nux started screaming Nux and Briggs for the next 5 minutes, and that's so then you guys can deal with that.
Nux and Briggs.
Na 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 na. That's like.
You just called me Evidence Zero. How dare you?
Well, at
No,
least people
I said-
will know what to search up for your name.
Exactly, Evan. I said Evanito. I said Evanito from Evanite Zero so that they can look you up and search you unless they're in Canada, because currently our YouTube searches are not working.
Nux Briggs.
Anywho,
Alright.
today our topic is
100
reasons to watch anime.
That was
All
great,
right, and
guys.
if you guys count the amount of reasons, then mad flex. We don't care. We're still calling it 100, even for only about
Over 9,000 reasons to watch anime. Number
And-
one.
But that sounds like clickbait.
This is a very relevant topic because we are all staying inside, staying safe, and watching anime and doing other things that are inside in order to
Oh,
help the whole global
Inside,
health
boys!
crisis. Stay inside, stay safe, do your best to stop the spread of the
All right, I feel like we
Virus.
should take turns. Okay? We should take turns giving great reasons why you should be watching anime. So I'd like to start. If you never watched anime, you would not appreciate the massive flexes of Lord Nuxanor. So I think that's a pretty great reason.
Jesus Christ.
So on the note of terrible reasons, I lied. Great reasons. I'm gonna add another
Yeah.
great reason that's totally serious.
Yeah.
One Piece is an anime. Therefore, that is a great reason to watch anime.
Yes.
Hey man, I'll drink to that.
Cheers, bro.
These are all very awful reasons.
Okay, Evan Zero. What's your reason?
I feel like it's good to watch anime because, sometimes cartoons can get a little stale unless you're watching Steven Universe. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good joke, man. Good
I
joke.
love how you thought that reason was better than me and Nux's.
Wow! How dare you? It is a good reason. I give an obviously sarcastic reason. Briggs tries to counter with another sarcastic reason, and Evan takes it seriously. So he tries to flex on us with an actual reason because he thought we were being serious. And then he comes along with literally
I
the worst
didn't think you were
reason
being
of all
serious.
time.
No, screw you.
All right, Noble.
I think you should watch anime. And one good reason I would say that is because it opens up a whole new possibility in the world of how does Nux say it? Gentai? It opens up that new door and you're able to explore it. And that's like half of the good porn out there, you know? It really is.
Wow.
You're missing out if you don't watch it.
So far, our reasons were: one, we can't leave the house right now; two, you wouldn't appreciate Nuxanor's flexes; three, One Piece is an anime; four, it's better than cartoons; and five, there's hentai.
Yeah.
We fucking suck, guys. This is a terrible podcast.
I mean, I thought I should just at least get the obvious out.
Oh yes, clearly. My apologies.
Yeah.
All right, back to Animac.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I totally did.
He's just like, I'll calm now. Like,
All right. So in all honesty, anime has this very subtle power. It can convey raw human emotions through cartoony ways that we wouldn't be able to experience without this world. And as a simple example, to combine everything that we've said together, and there's a lot of shmentai about the Arlong Park arc of One Piece.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
But in all honesty, a
It's called
simple
Shmentai
scene
and
like
art.
Luffy, putting his hat on Nami's head to say that I'm going to go fight this massive fish monster that was blackmailing you for years evokes much more emotion than almost any scene ever from any other non-anime experience that I've had. I feel like even though anime can sometimes be for a very young audience, like shonen anime is clearly for anyone in their teenage years. It's not the most mature shows out there. But that said, it can still invoke the most powerful of emotions from the people watching. Something far stronger than even the most adult-themed series or shows can, not within the anime medium.
Wow, this is refreshing. Nux being
Wow.
serious for once. I kind of love it. I kind of stand.
Honestly.
And to add to that, I think a great thing about anime is that there are no restrictions. If you look at every live adaptation that's tried to copy an anime, they always fail. And I feel like part of the reason is because they can't pull off, like you said, the emotions that they could do in anime. But also, look at Dragon Ball Z. You got dudes flying around, blowing up mountains, shooting beams. The budget they would need to pull that off, and it just wouldn't look the same. Look at the characters in One Piece and how goofy they are, or the comedy and how goofy it is. How would you pull it off in a real life setting and make
Well,
it not
they're
look
doing that.
ridiculous?
Yeah,
I have faith in the new One Piece live adaptation. All right, I have faith it'll be good.
I'm optimistic. I made a whole video about why I'm optimistic, but at the end of the
Look at
day,
who we
the odds
are,
are not in its
okay?
favor.
Only anime could bring us together. We have Animac, the Slavic Adonis, Briggs, the nerdy Chad, Evan, someone with the worst taste of all time, who's
What do
scared
you
of fish,
mean?
and whose
Damn.
dog doesn't
We
shut
have
up. in the
similar taste in
bathroom.
anime. How
And
dare
Damn.
you?
you nobles.
When my power cannot be contained in one person.
I refuse to do Evan so dirty, man. You know that Recon has worse taste than him.
Everyone knows
You know
this.
what? Evan, I sincerely apologize right now. If
Thank
there's
you.
anything I could do to make up for what I just said.
I don't know. Tag
So
me in a tweet
sorry.
next time.
Okay, don't go too far here. Anyway, Animac, say something of value, please. It's been far too long since I've heard words of wisdom emanate from your mouth.
Thank you, Nox. I appreciate that. So, one thing that I've noticed in terms of the difference between Western cartoons and anime, and no, Steven Universe doesn't count as anything good, but one thing I've noticed is that there are adult cartoons now in the Western world, right? With anime, I feel like it's been for longer periods of time that cartoons were intended for adults. I would say since the 70s at least, you had very mature anime coming out in Japan that clearly wasn't targeted at kids. Now, you do definitely have like The Simpsons and Family Guy and Rick and Morty and all these cartoons that are from the West geared at adults, but most of them, the vast majority, exactly, the vast majority of them seem to be comedies. Whereas if you look at anime, you can get whatever you want for adults. You can get a serious sci-fi like Ghost in the Shell or Psychopaths. You can get horror. You can get adventure. You can get, just a slice of life. Yeah. So it's not just all one-note adult comedies. There's so much more to it. So I think that's one of the reasons why anime is so cool.
And I do agree.
Nox,
But
I'm still in the middle of a sentence. That's one of the
you're not
reasons why.
stopping, man.
That's one of the reasons why I think anime is so interesting, because the culture of it for decades has been, this isn't just for kids, and there's a wide variety of content geared at both adults and kids.
And everything in between. Not if
Yeah,
you were in
anyway.
this room right now, I would fucking throw something at you. I love you, bro. I love you. But you drive
love
me
how you
insane
always talk-
sometimes.
I would say another appeal of anime is that the art style has been perfected for years to a point where it's just
I know
so
where you're going.
it's just so goddamn appealing. I'm not gonna go to hentai on this. All right, I could, but it's been so perfected by many different artists that it's like own different unique art style, and it's like to the point where like it's so good that like art studios like refuse to accept it. I don't know why, but like it's so appealing, the different ways you can go about it. I mean, just looking at like the different things, but you can still tell it's anime. Like One Piece has such a unique style, but you know it's still anime. Well, you look at fucking anything that oh god, I'm trying to remember that studio that always draws amazing art that did Violet Evergarden. I'm trying to remember the name of that studio. But yeah, like anything they do is so goddamn gorgeous.
Was
like,
that Ufotable?
What? The studio?
No. It's the really good. It always does those slice and life.
Yeah, Kyoto Animation.
Oh, Kyoto.
Kyoto Animation. Like it's
Yeah,
just so
that's it.
drop dead gorgeous. And like you got so many different things and different art styles going on that it's just amazing to watch and such a spectacle and candy for your eyes.
Even when the plot is very mediocre and boring.
Yes. It makes Violet Evergarden watchable.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah.
No, like, yeah, Violet Evergarden, it's not that it's terrible or anything, it's just boring to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Episode 10 was the one good episode.
Mr. Steven Universe talking.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Steven Universe. Wow.
Steven, do you have any other reasons why we should watch anime?
I don't know, man. A lot of waifus, man. Waifus and husbandos. They perfect what the human form can look like, right? So they give you idealized versions of ourselves or what we want in partners.
No. Okay, so
What?
Another-
What?
Yeah,
this
me
is
too. I like big
unbelievable.
anime girls with, like huge eyeballs. I'd love to see that on a girl.
Oh my god.
I had you at like waifus and husbandos, and like it's like we have a fun community, and there's so many interesting characters out there, and so many different characters. And then once you start comparing it to real life, and I'm just like, all right, no.
Wow.
Evan, you just stick to something basic. Like, take something that the community likes and say that.
Anime has Japanese dialogue. Most
Oh
of
my
the
god.
time.
Wow, that's a great point there, Evan. One of the things that I
You
love.
mean that these cartoons made in Japan have Japanese dialogue?
You said the 6 is something that everyone agrees with.
Everyone agrees with and enjoys, not a. Oh, God.
Evan,
I agree with Evan here.
Evan.
Not so much. I'm gonna paraphrase what he was saying, but I would like to
In
say
different
that.
enough words to make it not sound similar at all.
Yep.
Evan, since you like Steven Universe, are you also a fan of High Guardian Spice?
No. I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Don't
Tell
lie.
him he'll
Yeah.
get too into it.
Don't
No.
lie to us.
I actually don't know what that is.
I'm sure you love it when you see it.
Oh god. All right.
High Guardian Spice.
This sounds like a terrible thing.
Yeah, but anyway, as far as other reasons to watch anime, so we all appreciate a good fight scene. And even though some may say, well, I actually prefer watching 1950s kung fu movies, you're wrong. Anime is just way cooler. They can spice everything up. I feel like anime is imagination coming to life. And no matter the real life movie, it can't give that feeling of awe that this popped out of someone's mind.
Yeah.
Look at
especially
Hajime
when
no
it comes
Ippo
to something
boxing
that,
matches. Like it's still grounded in
Yes.
reality, but they're able to exaggerate every little thing. Like they don't have superpowers per se, but everything is exaggerated and enhanced in a way that it just honestly can't even compare to watching real boxing.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at in past decades before CGI was as advanced as it was, anime could do certain things that real movies just couldn't. CGI now does exist and they can do a lot, but the budget has to be a lot higher for something. So if you want to make a Ghost in the Shell live action versus a Ghost in the Shell anime, like the budget has to be completely different. And you guys are right. Sometimes the stuff that anime shows us is kind of cringe if you see it in real life, because anime exaggerates and includes these inner monologues and emotions and faces and all this stuff that kind of seems ridiculous in the real world, but it's actually how our minds work. Like our minds are all over the place. They're not stuck in a certain physical realm. Whereas when you try to go to live action, it kind of seems off-putting if you have people freaking out and having all these crazy faces popping out and hearts flying all over, that type of stuff.
I mean, it definitely works in some aspects, though, like Scott Pilgrim,
Evan, can you turn up your volume?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, like,
I was gonna say turn off your volume.
wow, wow, Duck.
Yeah, so okay, Scott Pilgrim is an interesting example. I think that it does some of that for sure. But for example, I did not like Scott Pilgrim, the movie. It just didn't jive with me. But I know a lot of people did, so I guess that is a good example then of it working.
Let me just contradict myself.
No, it's just a personal thing. I wasn't a fan of Scott Pilgrim. I never played the game though, so maybe that's why. But I just wasn't like a fan of the movie.
Yeah, that's fine.
You've outsmarted me, but I've outsmarted your outsmarting. So now that I've mentioned the JoJo reference,
Oh, here we go. The JoJo rant. Yes.
Yo, imagine them trying to like do a real life JoJo fight. They couldn't pull that off.
It's impossible.
They did do a movie.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they pull it
did
off?
Just live action JoJo. Yeah.
Doubt it.
why not? But anyway, the thing about JoJo's is, aside from the community that it makes, that I think is amazing. I love the JoJo community. People say it's toxic, but I think that just plays to its strengths. But anyway, JoJo's takes reality and twists it into such a beautiful over-exaggeration of basic life, and it makes everything so much more awesome. And I'll give other examples of this. You can have a story like Food Wars, right? It's guys cooking. Just guys cooking. That's it that's happening. But it's the most riveting story. It also has some nice women, but it's the most riveting story that, like, your heart is in your throat, like, oh my God, is his pork roast actually going to defeat his adversary scallop souffle? Is it going to be able to? And you're like on the edge of your seat watching cooking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anime
cooking shows have existed for a long time, so it's not just.
Well, they exaggerate like the way they enhance like the meal in a battle sense. Like they add like metaphorical, literal fights in the background, or women straight up orgasming that they couldn't do in like a normal setting.
Yeah, I've watched
Gordon Ramsay takes his sip of something, his shirt explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched like cooking shows, but there's a difference between like a cooking show and a battle shonen cooking show.
Oh yeah.
Adding that battle shonen spice really brings it to life. But another thing, that the fact that everyone in Erina's family has some ability that if you really get them to enjoy their food, they disrobe, or if they really, really like it, they can blow the clothing off the people around them.
Can we just? I just want to point out that someone in the chat called Florida Man said that I have bad taste.
Wow. I guess you got called
someone
out.
from Florida was actually correct. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Damn.
Guess there is hope for the state.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Nice try, guys, but we all know that there's no hope for Florida.
Oh my God.
Ultimate letdown.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with Briggs's initial point about the whole situation where you can do certain things with anime that you can't do with movies just because you would need such a massive budget. And to have a massive budget, you need something that's really highly appealing, right? So you need like a Marvel or a Star Wars or something that you feel like a lot of people are going to like. You're not going to get a $200-300 million budget for something completely new, independent, niche cyberpunk thing. Whereas for anime, you could, because the budget would be much lower and you can give it a shot.
That's another good point. There is literally something for everyone. I feel like sometimes, like, by the media, it's either hentai or kids shows that's kind of like what anime is viewed as, or it's like sometimes people think it's a genre, but there are so many different genres within anime that Animac mentioned earlier. So there is literally how many shows come out each season? There is something for everyone, no matter what your age is or interest.
And another thing that I'd like to add on to this is that anime itself is something that can be mimicked. And sometimes you can't really mimic the stuff that goes on in movies per se because the actors are so unique. they're real people. You can't really do so much. I mean, you
Actors
can
are real
kind of like
people.
dress up like them. But everyone capable of doing art. Everyone is capable of it. And you can draw the character doing whatever you want, make them situations, and that's what fandom spreads so much is because people are able to take these characters and make art, fan stories, write something about them, do incredible things that they show their love and appreciation of the show, and other people can see this and go, "Oh God, this is amazing!" Like, and it's so much easier to do that to actually like mimic like the stuff that goes on in movies and other real life stuff. So like it's incredible the way that anime is able to just be spread around just through all the art and doujins and other stuff, which is why anime
And
allows
memes.
it to be so and memes to be like pirated so widely because it actually is super helpful for the industry.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
agree
guess
with
to-
everything you just said.
You could say that the fact that anime is so over the top often and larger than life allows it to make for better memes. Like, look at how many memes we get from JoJo's because it's so crazy.
You see, the thing is, it's not just like the overdoing like basic things. Like in Food Wars, someone tastes food and the entire school blows up due to the awesomeness of I don't know, pork with actual salt and pepper on it or whatever the hell. But like the idea is that there is this larger than life thing about anime that's amazing. Like, for example, One Piece. Briggs, did
Hell
we
yeah.
talk about One Piece enough today?
Let's go.
Jesus.
One Piece is about dreams, and it's about these larger than life dreams that shouldn't be possible even in the world they're in, and you see them coming true. You see this little group of people that each had their own dream and their own spirit of adventure, and they change the world around them. And the more you know about One Piece, the more you realize how impossible this dream is, and yet he's getting closer. You see that this world is so crazy. The world is ever expanding in One Piece. And despite the massiveness of the world, our little boys are making a massive impact.
Yeah. So one thing that we definitely see a lot in non-anime world, and I mean there's certain anime that are like existentialist and nihilistic and all that stuff. But one thing you see a lot in non-anime world these days is like just very like depressing messages and life is hard and then you die and all this type of stuff, and it's like that's considered to be high art at this point, postmodernism, etc. And with anime, like I agree with you on One Piece, but also with Gurren Lagann being my go-to example. It's like it accepts that life can suck, but you have to still strive to do what everyone else thinks is impossible. Strive and keep going. And if you actually believe it and you are able to see it, you're a visionary when everyone else is not, you can achieve those impossible goals that no one else even thought possible. So I do love anime because of that. Those philosophical, motivational messages that you can find definitely in other media, but I think anime has a special place in my heart.
And also, the philosophical aspects that you mentioned in Gurren Lagann, they're present everywhere in anime. It's like, unlike when it comes to more, let's say, Western style shows, there isn't this overarching philosophical mindset that it's trying to get you in. It's like, okay, nihilism, laugh at this joke about how everything's meaningless, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But there are
love-
so many anime that give you nice pick-me-ups when it comes to philosophy. And there's something I wanted to mention to you before Animex, since you were talking about like adult cartoons. I know that you don't like BoJack Horseman because you got bored of it like after a few episodes, and I hear that. I didn't really get into it in the beginning either, but it is a top-tier, non-comedy, emotional Western animation. But that said, what it doesn't exhibit about anime is it's more focused on how everything can go wrong as opposed to how everything can go right.
Yep.
I love how idealistic anime can be sometimes. Like some of my favorite anime, Kenichi, Hajime no Ippo, One Piece, are all about achieving your dreams and pushing further and doing something that's pretty much impossible. And honestly, I think it's like, I know Animac always says that Gurren Lagann and Kamina has affected his life. I'd say the same thing for Kenichi. I think I was born I was always a very weeby, nerdy guy, and Kenichi helped me become the Chad I am today.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
when I started watching BoJack Horseman, I thought it was supposed to just be a comedy. Nux.
It's not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
That's useful.
It's
to
an
know.
amazing show. I loved it. I really
when
got
I- when
into it.
When I saw it, to me, it just struck me like as another type of Family Guy-esque comedy adult show. So I was like,
That's what
yeah.
I thought in the beginning also, and it wasn't that funny. But you realize it does have a lot of funny moments, but for the most part, it's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, and actually, I also watched what's it called, Archer, a few episodes, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't get this.
I never watched Archer.
It's another adult
My brother
series,
likes
which I
it a
think is
lot.
supposed to be a comedy, though.
Yeah, it's more of a comedy.
Someone in the chat asked me for some examples about the Western messaging that I'm talking about. So basically, and like newer Stephen King, for example, I used to read a lot of Stephen King, but then it got to the point where everything was predictable because you know that there's going to be terrible people who do terrible things for no reason. There's going to be a message where, oh, life is meaningless and all of us are little ants in a world that we can't control. Like The Dome being Stephen King's The Dome being a perfect example. But then also in George R.R. Martin, you have a lot of that. Just a lot of stuff, Western stuff, seems to be like that to me. Just not kind of life is pain, existentialist type messaging.
We definitely get that messaging in anime as well, but then again, we get everything in anime.
And yes and no. Even the stories that are the life is pain type stories, there's almost always a happy ending. I mean, there's almost always a light at the end of the tunnel. Whereas, like, Rick and Morty is one of my favorite TV shows ever. I love Rick and Morty. The idea of it is that Rick is suffering a lot. The whole story is based on that he's so smart. He realizes that nothing is going on past the physical or whatever. And so there's no purpose to anything. So I could do whatever I want. I could be a god and I could, go about my life having a great time on these massive adventures, but in the end of the day, he feels empty because he has no purpose.
But to be fair to Rick and Morty, they have great humor, so that definitely.
Rick and Morty's amazing. I just mentioned how much I love it, but yeah,
but like it's just you can watch it just for the comedy too because it's so funny.
I like the philosophy in Rick and Morty as well.
No, you can like it, but I'm just saying even if you're in it just for the comedy, it's still good.
Rick and Morty's great. I've watched it many times. Season 4, Part 2, when? This is so sad.
I think you're going off of like escapism here, and like honestly, just shows in general, cartoons. Like people get reality. Let's be real, man. I'm sick of looking at this Corona crap going on, man. I want to watch some goddamn anime or something like
There goes
that.
the monetization on the video.
Oh shit. You can...
It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
My bad. But yeah, man. Like I don't want to like look at that crap. I want to watch something stupid to turn my mind off of, or maybe I want to watch something psychological.
Last night, your boy read the first 30 chapters of Solo Leveling, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole news. I want to know.
How you
I
liking
don't
it
know
so far, man?
What's all this hype around Solo Leveling though? Like I don't.
You read it?
honestly... No, I don't. I don't know why
Well,
everyone's
then you probably wouldn't understand the
on top
hype.
of it now.
Not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed so far. Not that I'm hating it, but out of all the hype it's getting,
But
maybe
Nux,
it's just because I'm.
what did I say to you when I messaged you the first time? Like, I don't really understand the hype. And then
Man, look,
a couple of weeks later,
I
I'm
know-
like, oh my god!
Dude, if it's not for that, I might have dropped it. I remember you saying that you thought it was meh, and now you're saying how amazing it is. That's why I'm, continuing. But like, Misty messaged me, yo, dude, it's like Hunter x Hunter level. I'm like, what?
Okay, I don't know if I would go that far just yet off of what I've seen. I haven't read the entire thing yet, but I remember at the beginning, I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be another story about a hero like My Hero Academia and Deku kind of thing. And then
I
slowly,
immediately
every
knew
single
it was
battle our
good.
protagonist he continues to develop and change in such an interesting way. The moments in this series are so hype. It's awesome. Honestly, it's so good. I highly recommend it.
Look, maybe it's because I'm not used to it. I've read a few manhwa, and I do not like it as much as manga. I feel like it doesn't stress the backgrounds like manga does. On a manga panel, you have like a whole story in the background aside from the basic words being said. And in this, you only have the very linear dude walks up to monster, dude attacks monster. It's like it's very. Look, maybe I'm wrong, but so far I'm looking forward to continuing. Evan,
I'd say at chapter 45 you'll start getting
Hi.
hyped.
I mean, you guys just started talking about solo leveling, which I haven't read and know nothing about. But another reason I like anime is the music, the soundtrack. Soundtracks in anime, I feel, are like, very different than like anything else I've heard.
Yes.
Like they're more unique.
All right, so
Yeah,
I
you're right.
respect that, and I like how a soundtrack from a certain anime, whenever I hear it, obviously I'm going to get that vibe from that anime again. Like right now, I could be doing the most boring job ever, cleaning some crap, and then all of a sudden I hear some like Naruto music in the background, and I am going to clean that crap. I am going to be the greatest crap cleaner of all time. I am going to become the crap cleaner Hokage.
The crap cleaner Hokage.
So on the topic of what Evanito said about the whole soundtracks, yeah, I do think that Japanese culture itself is something that's unique and something that to us is different. So anime definitely offers that because they're working in a cultural context that is different from our own, and we get to experience new things and new ways of doing things when we watch anime. And music is part of that because you're not gonna hear like J-pop or J-rock intros and outros to any Western show. They'll have more like your generic kind of pop music here, not Japanese type music. So there's a difference there, and it makes it more memorable.
I love how different anime is from everything else in my life.
I mean, there's also like some shows just have like different music, like for instance, Fairy Tail, right? Like it's just the soundtrack of Fairy Tail is just so different from like most shows.
I love the Fairy Tail soundtrack. Whenever I hear it, it gets me hyped.
Yeah, and to me, it's almost like jarring when you have anime that use like traditional English songs in it, like Count of Monte Cristo, Gankutsuo, and Mushishi. They use intros that are just like English language songs.
I feel like the soundtrack to Gankutsuo was a disaster.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of it. A lot of people do love it though, but I'm not a huge fan of it just because I'm used to something different with anime.
Meanwhile, I'm the guy over here who skipped anime intros and outros.
What?
I don't like the music.
You
I
skip?
actually don't like it.
Wow,
I
exposed. Just exposed himself.
I haven't exposed. I've always said this.
This is how you get
I've
canceled.
always.
This
I
is
skip
literally,
that shit.
imagine, bro. Like, bro, for some anime like Tokyo Ghoul, I only watch the intro. That's the only thing I watch.
Tune into every episode just to watch the first 2 minutes.
Yeah,
and-
that's all I
I
do.
mean, yeah, there's some anime out there where the intro is like the only redeeming thing about it. Yeah, there's some goods out there. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I can
there are
just
some
picture it.
intros.
I can
There are some
picture
intros that I don't necessarily have to watch, like Psyche K. That's one of the intros that I'm not super into. But like, I'm not gonna like fast forward an intro like a Seven Deadly Sins intro or an Attack on
Seven
Titan
Deadly
intro.
Sins has some pretty dope intros. Or like an interspecies reviewers intro. Damn, that gets you so hyped and ready for the meat and potatoes. That is about to,
Yeah,
But then
gotta-
there's anime
gotta
like
match
Dr.
YMCA.
Stone that
Okay,
I'm
Dr.
just
Stone,
like,
I
yo,
skipped that
I hate
intro.
that intro. I hate it. I hate
It's
that
a pretty
intro.
bad intro. I skipped that one as well.
And also Set
I
Ton
disagree
Academy.
that it's
I love
bad.
the anime hate intro and outro. Oh man.
But like, as far as anime intros, some of them do a great job hyping you up for the show. Like, all sports anime intros are a must-watch.
Fly high, bro. Fly high. And then when they're in the middle of like a battle, a fight, a match, and they start putting the opening in the background,
Big facts, Briggs!
I don't think there's anything else that can make me as hyped.
A thing. But if you don't expect it, if you expect it, it's still awesome. But like, if you don't expect it, and all of a sudden it starts playing, it's like, like, oh my god, it's happening! It's happening, guys! Yeah.
I can't believe you guys don't like Ohayo Sekai, good morning world.
Well, I don't know how you guys don't like, the 4Kids pirate rap, okay? That's
I
the
love
banger.
it.
I love the
Yeah,
4Kids
yo,
pirate rap.
yeah, yo.
Dreaming.
Don't give it up, Luffy. Dreaming.
Dreaming.
That's literally our intro for the One Piece version.
I sung that at karaoke at Anime Expo one year, and everyone at first, when I said I was gonna go up and sing that, they were booing me. But by the time I was done, everyone was cheering me on.
Because they're thinking, oh, we're beyond 4Kids. Fuck 4Kids. Then you realize, yo, this was dope.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
The
I
Black
honestly
Clover openings, number 3 and number 10 are both some of my favorite openings.
Oh
of
yeah,
all time.
but a lot of them are great. Like the other day, I was just listening to like a YouTube video that had all the openings put together, and I was like, bro, this is like I've never seen.
People call it a compilation. Anime calls it YouTube video with the openings put together.
Yes, and like no, I've never. I was thinking like, have I ever seen an anime with this many great openings, just one after the other? Because yeah, we had like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and Bleach had some good ones, but I feel like the overall quality of this many in a row just being so good, I think Black Clover is like a whole other league, man.
Oh, I am with you. I think Black Clover killed it with the openings.
Yeah, JoJo openings are good too, but I feel like Black Clover, some of them are just like so amazing. But JoJo's openings are
I
up
love
there.
JoJo openings, but Black Clover opening 3 and 10, they're like amazing.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of anime that have that one great opening or a few, but Black Clover, it seems like so many of them are just so good.
But JoJo openings though, they're the king.
Oh,
You just said that so
the
the people
JoJo
wouldn't
openings are pretty
insult you in chat.
Yeah.
But no, they are great. They are great.
JoJo. JoJo.
Those are
openings
there's a few openings that I like listening to, and the JoJo ones are those ones.
Don't do this, Nux. Joe!
Oh, God.
Couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Anyway,
I'm sorry, it just happens.
I like the collage you're using, Briggs, visual collage, because it actually has Knights of Sidonia in the bottom left corner.
I was thinking how much I liked it because it has Lagerisen in the bottom right corner.
And what about the top right corner?
And Mark, I was about to say that. Hell yeah.
Personally, I was a fan of the top left, Black Lagoon.
I think you're talking about Black Lagoon.
Yeah, that's literally what I just said.
I thought you said like Bakugan or something. You were.
No, I said Black Lagoon.
This is blasphemy. I don't see any One Piece on here.
Just so sad.
So sad.
As
Maybe
Fudume
our
to the
faces are
Eruki
covering it.
Miski
Actually, in the center. You just don't.
Anyway, sorry if you're listening to this podcast, you have no idea what the
that'd be
visuals
hype.
are.
Yeah, there are a lot of good openings, and I do love the idea of anime openings because, as far as Western shows, it's more like a little jingle than an actual opening.
Or it'll just be like one of those dramatic songs that are basically replaceable. Like there are a few intros to Western shows that stand out, like Game of Thrones or Stranger Things. But most of the shows that you watch, you're not gonna remember the intro.
And they always skip too. Like you never see show endings in America.
Bro, if anyone skips the Game of Thrones intro, you're fucking insane.
Most American intros are just and then like the show starts.
Yeah, and no one even says dreamin' or nothing.
What about
Oh,
the Naruto
Dreamin'!
English opening? Jais, Judo Chop. Deal.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Full Metal Dragon, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has a good opening, 100%. That's an iconic
Okay, yeah,
one.
That's
yeah,
a
those,
fact.
yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air might be like my favorite sitcom of all time in terms of like those comedy sitcoms. I just love it so much.
I am a good morning world.
Any other great reasons to watch anime, boys?
Then you could get anime references and start appreciating people with anime profile pictures on social media.
That's
I think another reason to watch is because like a lot of Western media, especially I guess like directors and stuff here in like the West, are influenced by like anime. When they make like creative decisions in shows now. So I feel like if you want to understand more Western shows, maybe it's a good idea to watch anime.
What?
Yeah, bro, that was
What?
an actual good comment.
Nux
Making a
disagrees.
decent comment?
Wow, he
No,
agrees.
I disagree completely. That was a joke.
Wow! Wow!
What are you saying, man? Why? All right. So here's something I'm full hashtag Team Briggs. I used to be maybe a little bit on the fence, but I am fully Briggsified when it comes to this. I do not care at all about the secret deep meanings and philosophies hidden in the deep backgrounds and the inspirations that bring something to life if the story's bad.
Bro, stop talking shit about Ergo Proxy, bro. I see you. I see you, bro.
No, fam, that was just a nice way to say that Animac has bad taste. But yeah.
No,
I'm
for
Team
me,
Briggs.
an ideal anime will have a great story, great characters, and great philosophy.
Agreed.
But those are not very common. So I still appreciate the philosophy of an anime that doesn't have the best plot and characters if it's watchable. If it's not watchable, then fuck it. But to me, something like, Psychopaths and Gurren Lagann, they have like all the awesomeness that I need. The trifecta: great characters, great plot, great philosophy.
There are a lot of great shows like that, actually, I believe. I think that all the really good shows are like that.
Yeah, I mean, for like Evangelion, I think it has great philosophy, but the characters and plot are not as interesting as some other ones. Ergo Proxy as well.
Oh, one of my favorite anime, Scooby-Doo. It taught me how, like, if the cliff crumbles beneath you and you want to run away, you just start running in the air for like 20 seconds. It can keep you propelled, and then eventually you can make an epic spurt to survive.
Yeah, but they actually were inspired by Roadrunner, the original, the original Cliff Runner.
Yeah, right. As a fanboy of Scooby-Doo, I must say, Zoinks.
Yeah.
Well, to
I-
keep this,
I've been watching the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna
Speaking of
say
anime, as a kid, I used to love Scooby-Doo. I'm not gonna lie.
same, bro.
Bro.
Yeah, I was watching the new Scooby-Doo on Netflix. It's not like but it's like Velma's a bitch.
Yeah, like the old Scooby-Doo from like the 60s, 70s, and like because they have very different versions. It used to be all rerun on like Teletoon back in the late 90s constantly, and I just loved that stuff. I was just watching it all the time.
Hell yeah.
I think a lot of anime fans grew up watching like different cartoons and different anime that they didn't know were anime, and it was just always
Yes.
something that we were into. Like I remember I would wake up early for Pokemon. I would watch like Scooby-Doo and like literally every cartoon that was on Cartoon Network. I would like rush home after school for Yu-Gi-Oh and watch Dragon Ball Z on Saturdays. Like I was already so invested in animation, and like I had no idea of like what anime even was.
Yeah, I agree.
just-
Like I used to love Pokemon, Dragon Ball, somewhat Digimon, etc. But I didn't really consider it
Hey,
anything.
did you mind?
Hey,
Monster friends to the boys and girls. Hey, did you mind? Did you mind?
Well, I didn't quite.
Champions of the digital world.
I did remember that, but I was more of like Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon,
Digimon,
the champion. that,
Change
remember it.
into digital champions to save the digital world.
yeah. See, if you haven't seen Digimon, then you will never be able to appreciate Nux's epic operatic singing of the intros.
Yeah.
As if Digimon stan, I stand by that. Not the greatest pun of all time. Yeah. I feel like anime is a great thing to watch and a great thing for kids to watch because it really gets your head in the right place. I feel like it's not trying to push an agenda that's political in any way for the most part, and it's just kind of trying to teach you to be a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Chase
it
your
depends.
dreams. It values friendship so much, which I think is so important.
Yeah, I feel like there is definitely a push in Hollywood for certain political agendas where you don't see that much of that in Japan. You can find different types of political views. Like you could say certain anime like Akira have definitely a socialist leaning, and other ones maybe not so much. But it's not like a echo chamber. Whereas I feel like Hollywood is becoming an echo chamber.
Oh, but I'm talking about like more for kids. Like when it comes to kids animation in the West, there's almost always some sort of political leaning
Yeah,
in some way. It's not trying to change the person that's watching. It's trying to change the person's ideals. And anime is trying to like make the person a better person. Chase your dreams, become the Wizard King, the greatest Hokage. You could do it. Even if you have no power, you're someone who can stand up and be strong. You know, it's, I don't know. I just feel like it's a much more wholesome environment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch that many modern Western cartoons to be able to say that, but I'm sure you have a good point.
I don't really watch Western cartoons either. I'm just talking out of my ass this whole time.
Okay, cool. As long as we know what we're...
Well, I don't know. This doesn't really apply to non-anime fans, but since everyone watching here most likely is an anime fan, another great reason to watch anime. I don't know about you guys, but after a very long day, I remember last semester I used to have some 9 to 9s that absolutely fucking sucked, and nothing.
bro.
All I waited for was just to lie in bed and turn on whatever series I was watching, whatever anime I was watching, and it was legit the highlight of my day.
Oh, I relate.
Well, on
Man, I
that
have to
note,
delete
should
Twitter.
we try to wrap this up, or does anyone else have anything else they feel like another great reason to watch anime?
It good.
A great reason to watch
It's-
anime
it's
is when
very
you play
nice.
Yu-Gi-Oh! It makes you actually feel like you're in a different world. It's like when you're tributing 3 monsters to summon some level 10 behemoth, you're going to slap that card on the table as hard as you can.
Well, I told you guys why I think that hentai is morally superior to real porn.
Thanks for coming, everyone. It was a blast.
Right. Right. Okay.
No, that's a wrap.
Shut down that convo real quick, boys.
Oh man.
Yeah, and you meant it. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Master strategizing there, Animag.
Yes, like how in off you're capable of actually doing incest.
Oh, I thought of
Oh,
another
God,
great reason to
no.
watch anime. One Piece.
What did you
right,
say?
One
What did you say, Noble?
No, I'm joking.
Another
nothing.
reason
He said-
to
he said
watch
absolutely
anime.
nothing.
You get a whole different level of appreciation for your siblings.
No. No.
Oh,
But
yes, the
not
tentacle
blood-related
monster.
siblings, of course. Wink, wink.
Anyways, guys, I
Man.
think that we can all agree that I'm right.
Of course.
Apex
Of
boy!
Hold on, Ux. Are we gonna discuss the Rank of Fate Isekai after this, or go to play Apex? Because
Oh, I vote we read some reviews since you've been slacking on that.
okay, shout out to Balkanski Spion. You're missing a J, but
Thanks,
still
Bakan,
shout out.
Guspino missing a J. Hell yes.
It's Balkanski Spion, bro. Say it properly. It
Did.
means the Balkan spy, and it's a reference to a hilarious movie from like the 70s that only true Serbs would understand, and potentially other Yugoslavs.
First review! Dear Nux, 5 stars. Don't you think Death Note could have had more info on the Shinigami world and King? P.S. Just asking because I finished Death Note today. Lord Twigo follower. Yes, but also no.
What?
Right. Next review. Fortnite Girls. 5 stars. Anyway, let's clear this. Animag with a C is Nami without breasts. Briggs is Sanji because he's the goat who always undershadowed by Zolo. And I don't understand Nux, therefore he is Zoro. And that's on the going Mary.
I don't understand Nux, so therefore he is Zoro.
Okay. All right.
All right, nice. Pretty Gamer, 5 stars. This, my friends, is a gamer podcast. Nux maniacal laughter. Adamak loving Kira's wife. Briggs bringing up One Piece every episode. These people are all very cool aliens pretending to be humans, and they deserve epic reviews. Have hiding in public more, because hiding in public is an epic man.
Yeah, obviously that was written by Hiding in Public. All the reference to gamer.
Clearly.
By the way, I will
Yeah.
just say that Kira's wife is like a perfectly ripe rose, you know? She has some thorns
Uh-huh.
as you go up her figure, but once you get, to the rosebud. it's
Review!
beautiful.
2-year fan, first time review, 5 stars. Thought about memeing in the beautiful spirit of the Rant Cafe, but I think I'll take this opportunity to show my guy Animac some love. Whatever, we can skip this review. I'm kidding. I feel like this man gets painted in a bad light by some of the fans and comments. And although I know the animosity from Nux and Brigo on the show is all in good fun, and they are actually good friends IRL, I just wanted to show my appreciation for this mad lad. This podcast has gotten me through some of the worst days of work in my life. And it would have never, and if it would never, he wrote, and it would have never existed, maybe, I don't know, without Animac. So thank you, Slavic Adonis. Also, I started watching Konosuba, and I gotta say, Mega Man is a viable option. Briggs,
Did he really write that at the end?
He's still going. He has. It's a long review. He did write that. Yes. Briggs.
No, why ruin such a great review? Why?
Briggs, please have my Chad children. I'll even let them grow up to be pirates or whatever.
What the fuck?
Nux, you already get enough gas from the fan base, and while I do think you should stop hyping things up as much, I know it's just because you're very passionate, and I appreciate the hell out of that. Look forward to listening to podcasts for a long time to come, and I love you all. Also, feel free to say passionate in a JoJo's Part 5 accent.
I love this review.
Yeah.
On guard, just hop over to @AnimeUproar on Twitter for a free shirt, man.
9 out of 10 review. You know where that one, you lost that one, and you know where. But you will get a free shirt. What is the name of the person?
On guard.
On guard. Oh, a musketeer, I see. All right, musketeer boys, hop on to @AnimeUproar on Twitter. Message me or not message me, but tweet at me, and we'll get things done.
Or you could do it what happened last week. Just message Briggs to ask Animac.
Yes, my DMs are open.
Oh.
Next review! Come for the waifu, stay for the deep philosophical discussion, 5 stars. The tittle really says all you need. I don't think that was done on purpose, but it is funny. The tittle really says all you need. Lord D. Nuxanor, Lord Chad Ladbrigo, and Saint Animac with the CK at the end truly are scholars and gentlemen of culture. This is all you can ask for an anime-centric podcast. Nay, all you can ask for any podcast. The Mad Lads are the apex of weeb entertainment. I like that line. That was good. I cannot thank them and their regular guests. That's you, Evan and Noble. Enough for blessing my day with the joy that is Rant Cafe. Do yourself a favor, checking it out on all/any podcast viewing listening mediums. Greatest in the world, not Zawardo.
Oh, because he's serious, bitch.
Yep. Next review! Why Rant Cafe is a modern classic, 5 stars. It's way better than Recreators. Listening to this podcast helped me learn Animac backwards is Animac. What?
Indeed.
Yes. Also frontwards. Briggs knows only how to forget, and Nux is a living meme. This podcast is the greatest on Zawado because the interesting character growth in each fully developed and realized intricate characters that Lord Twigo creates only to entertain our mortal minds. These interactions are completely amazing. I have subscribed to each main host, and I also love the guests. Each one brings a new flavor to the podcast, and it feels sometimes like a monster of the week. The recurring characters, like Evan eats 0 fish, all have fleshed out characters. Their overall narrative is well written, and it has grown to a comedy, from a comedy to a tragedy to an isekai. I love listening to you every week, and I just know that Animac is the reason I'm watching Gurren Lagann. Nux is why I'm watching Gintama, and Briggs is why I'm reading One Piece. Also, Kamina Forwards has cool hair. Nux has the greatest voice. And wait, I forgot that last guy's name. That was Evan. Oops.
That's a great review.
Next review.
God.
Great podcast, 5 stars. Love the podcast. Been listening for over 2 years. Still love it. Also, I am still listening to the podcast every week because Chakra Feet. Hell yeah. Next review is very short. Tank Top Power, 5 stars. I fap to the eclipse.
And on that note,
Big yikes.
Yeah, because we're definitely not getting demonetized for that one, Nux. We're getting demonetized for the thing Noble said.
Right. Agree.
All right, thank you guys so much for your reviews, for your support, for the live chatters, for the non-live listeners and viewers, for the donators. Love you guys so much.
All zombies listening to this podcast.
Love our special guests, Noble from Lost Paws and Evanito. You know, when we tell them a week to 2 weeks ahead of time that we're gonna actually have them on, they always make sure to in their schedule fit in the Rank Cafe podcast.
Yo, today I think was the most behind I ever was. We all got in a call, and I'm like, oh damn, I forgot to invite guests. So I just added them to the call, and they're like, hey guys, what's up? What up? Hey, Rank Cafe. What?
Yeah, that's called the Rank Cafe Roulette.
Wow.
We just invite people into the call, and whoever answers first, we're like, hey man, you want to be on the podcast? Or...
You know, I'm always at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm the last resort. If anyone else
absolutely are a bottom, Evan, and we love you.
I knew that was coming. I just said coming. Okay.
Oh my god.
Thank you guys for joining us. Please check out Evanito and Lost Paws. Links will be in the description on the YouTube video, or just Google Lost Paws and Evanito 0, because the O is a 0 at the end. I'm sorry, Evan. It's just the way it is. And until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.
Bang.
Ducks and Briggs!